Hey there, it's Toasty Fresh, hitting you up once again to show you a little bit of what I've been collecting on the gaming front over the past few months while I've been away from YouTube. Again, I'm just going through some backlogs, so this time it's all PlayStation 2. There's no added PC games or anything like that. It's strictly PS2, and just going over what I've been collecting over the last few months and getting more and more onto my recent stuff as the videos go along. Anyway, first up is Mission Impossible Operation Surma, and I got this because I got to thinking. I got an comment on one of my videos saying, "Oh, do you have a Mission Impossible Operation Surma?" So I thought, well, should I have it? Because I remember, well, not the original, because I think there were some on the earlier consoles, but I remember the one on the N64 very well. My brother had that. He paid £60 for it. So anybody that used to go on about games now, saying, "Oh, they're too expensive." N64 games used to be £60 plus, even for some of the rat trap that used to be released. And he paid £60 for that, and he got a few extra things chucked in as well, I think. But ridiculous price for the game now when you look at it. But this one I got just partly because of that, and partly because it was cheap. And your mission, should you accept it, involves choking out men with goatees, going over airplanes in a jetpack, and the obligatory zip wire scene, and stalking men in uniform. All that you can do in this game. And it was published by Atari, and I don't even know who made it. They might have even made it, and they were kind of, I think it was Infogrames at the time, was bought out. The Atari brand was bought out by Hasbro, so there was like a kind of Hasbro Games, I think, as well at that point, involved in a few games with the Atari label publishing it. And I got this game from That's Entertainment, which was shutting down. The local one that had sprung up, it was there for a few months, and then it folded again. Partly, I think, because some of the prices weren't right. This was only 99p. So I got this 80% off, I think, when it was just shutting down, and I went in and grabbed the last few things. I did want to get this Battlefield Bad Company steel tin that they had that was a tenner. I wanted to try and get that, but someone had already snapped it up. So I got a bunch of PSP games, and I got Mini Ninjas, I think it was, from my little girl. That'll probably be in a video sooner rather than later. Anyway, I've spent way too much time talking about that game. Let's move on. I got Spider-Man 2, the movie tie-in Spider-Man, and I got this basically because I've got the first one and the third one, so I thought, well, I want to complete the running of it. I already do have this for the GameCube, but I've only got 2 games for my GameCube, and I thought, well, I haven't got it for the PlayStation 2, so why not? And it's complete and everything, and that was from Cash Converters, another 99p game there that I picked up from there. That's why I bought it. I thought it was cheap enough. It's complete, and these games are actually pretty good, I think, from all accounts. I've only played a little bit of the first one though. I did play the amazing one that was released for the first one on the PlayStation 1, which was a great game. That was had what is it involved in it? Neversoft, the people behind Tony Hawk's, I think. So this was Activision. But yeah, I just got it because of that, really, to complete the continuation of that group of games that I got. Next up, another kind of license, and that's the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Rings official game. A famous novel. I've never actually read them yet, and I do tend to read books like that, so I don't know why I haven't read it yet. But this one, I have played Two Towers, and I think it's the same kind of idea, so I thought that wasn't too bad, so I probably enjoy this kind of hack and slash kind of third-person action as they are. I don't know if it'll be on rails completely like Two Towers was, which was kind of following the events of the film. I don't know if this is following totally on from the events of the film, or whether it's kind of leaning towards its own thing and interpretation with the book as well. It might be a bit of both. And it has an interesting little sticker on there, which is from, I think it's either Game Station or Game. I can't remember which. I think it might be Game, that one. So at one point it was $9.97. And moving on, these are a group of games that I got, which a lot of them I already had, and you can probably see Sonic there peeking up at you already. So I'll show the first one, and below that one It's Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and I'll just move those others out of the way so I don't get a sneak peek of them too early. And I got these just because of the condition that they're in. Although one of them I've bent the manual, I think. I don't know if I did it or not, but the cases are very, very good anyway. And this first one's Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and I got these from a local charity shop, and it was the first time in a long, long time there's actually been anything half decent in it. When I first started hunting in it, there was I got Parasite Eve for 50p, I think it was, and the Tomb Raider for the PlayStation 1, amongst some other games. Got some really good stuff in there, and it's been dry as a bone until these came along. And this is a great little collection to get if you love your Sonic and you don't have any of the other various compilations that these are on, like the game, not Master System, what am I on about? The Mega Drive collection, or Genesis if you're in America, Genesis collection. And it's got Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles. It's got Sonic 3D, Flicky's Island. It's got Sonic Spinball, Mean Bean Machine, the kind of puzzler that everyone's doing, a kind of puzzler on them lines, like Sonic, Mario had Mario, Dr. Mario, the Mean Bean Machine, and there's also Sega Game Gear games, like the Sega Game Gear version of Sonic Chaos, Sonic Drift, which Sonic Drift is like a racing game involving the Sonic characters, Mean Bean Machine again, a Sonic Blast, and there's also memorabilia like comics and things like that were released at the time in the 90s that you can read through. So that's kind of cool. And I think there's videos as well, like makings of and like old adverts and things like that. So a really good thing to get if you're a Sonic fan, a real must for anybody like that. And that only cost me £1 to sell them all for, well, 99p really, but usually I just give a quid over and I don't bother with a penny. Next up, an absolutely classic shooter. Definitely one of the best on the PlayStation 2, and probably one of the all-time greats. Time Splitters 2. I've already got it for the Xbox, original Xbox, but it's in one of those NAF classics case, and I think it is actually my original that I had. For some strange reason, I took a lot of the Xbox games, but certain ones I missed, like Morrowind. It is a great game, though. I wasn't too far. Well, I liked the first one, but it was hard as hell because from what I remember, there was only inverted controls, so it was really awkward if you'd never played inverted controls. Took a hell of a lot of getting used to. They didn't do that with this game, thank God, and it's a great little game. Really a must-see and a must-play if you've got yourself a PlayStation 2. And I didn't know how much this actually cost. This sets you back about £8 now, so to get this for 99p was pretty good going, and it's all complete. And I've only now got the last one to get. Is it Future Perfect? Time Splitters Future Perfect, or whatever it's called. I've got that to pick up anyway. And then moving on, one of my all-time favourite PlayStation 2 games, or one that's I've got a ton of memories of, and that is Final Fantasy X. And for me, marked the end of the heyday of Squaresoft. And it was probably, I think, the end of them using the Squaresoft brand before it became Square Enix. It was one of the last, I think, hurrahs for that. And it's got the bonus disc and everything. The case is in absolutely immaculate condition. Like I said, the instruction booklet's been bent a little bit, but I do have another copy of this game, so I'll probably just swap those over. And it's even got an PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 2 article on the game. So their review of the game there, and a little full story of the Final Fantasy story, showing you all the previous incarnations of Final Fantasy there and what they were released for, and a little bit about them as well. So that's a fun little thing to get. And it's also got the advertisement there for the strategy guide, which I had, which was Piggyback. It used to be Brady Games did the guides, like from Final Fantasy 7 at least. I know that was Brady Games. So I think it changed actually on Final Fantasy X. It became Piggyback that did all the guides. It's got the Beyond Final Fantasy, which is kind of making of, and shows some of the characters that are in it. 'Cause it's got a few the voice characters, some of them famous cartoon characters, like Tidus was Johnny Test, and he's been in some other things as well. And also Waka, I don't know if he's on it, but Waka was voiced by the guy who does Bender in Futurama, and also more recently Jake the dog from Adventure Time, which I actually enjoy watching, the big kid that I am. And also, he was in Manhunt as well, which is a really change of pace for him. But absolutely amazing game. Like I said, they went more into the lines of mediocrity after this point on for me. And I think in big point to the fact that I'm going to massacre this name, but Nobuo Uematsu, who was the games composer, legendary game and music composer, it was his last ever one of him doing music collaborations in a big way for the Final Fantasy games, and that was only joint with other people, and it was a really, really fantastic soundtrack to this game. And for all these others, I mean, any moment that you've ever enjoyed from a Final Fantasy game was made 10 million times more poignant or unforgettable by the fact of his music alone. So there's no real surprise that the game suffered from his loss of him going. Amongst, I think, other new people coming in and doing work as well, I think hurt the series a lot as well. But especially him, because really he just added that clout to a lot of the great set pieces. So that is a great game and another must play. So I was really happy to get that from them. And another game up here, and that's Crash Bandicoot, and another famous PlayStation character. I haven't saved that much money though, because I already own this game. My girlfriend wanted to get it because she remembers it. So I paid like the 10 or 12 pounds or whatever it is. It's actually the going rate is for it in Entertainment Exchange. And the only bad thing as well is this copy is exactly the same as my other copy. No instruction booklet and a platinum bloody case, which is the exact same. So I must be cursed in regards to this game, because the one that I got from Entertainment Exchange was exactly the same. If you go back through my collection videos, it's in here. And again, I said that I even took it back to the store with my other copy of this, and both other CDs that they had in were all platinums as well. So I must just be cursed to have a platinum disc of this game until I actually go out and buy one from eBay or something like that. But this was another game that marked a change in developers, because Naughty Dog left, like I've said in previous videos. Traveller's Tales took over, who've done some great games as well in their own rights. But they left to do Jackson Daxter, and I'm going to wrap up before this video gets all along. But everybody knows Crash Bandicoot. Anyone to do a gaming really knows about that. It's a fan platformer still without Naughty Dog doing it. Traveller's Tales did a pretty good job of it, to be honest. And it's a great one to add to your collection, so I would recommend that. But for game of the video, you guys might have a different opinion to me, but like I've said, for me it has to be Final Fantasy X. Forget the fact that a lot of people don't like TARDIS, because to be honest, people have problems with a lot of the main characters out of the Final Fantasy ones. There's a lot of haters for Cloud in Final Fantasy VII. And forget the cringe moments, such as the laughing scene from TARDIS, and the fact that TARDIS could be a little bit annoying at times. It was a great, great game, and I have a ton of memories of this game, so that's why it's my game of the video, just for my deep affection for it, really. You guys probably will have another favourite amongst those fine games, a lot of them really great ones. Anyway, that's all I've got time for. I'm going to come back with some more videos real soon for you guys, but thanks for keeping up with what I've been doing. I really appreciate it, so I'll see you guys next time.